Okay, we're back again. And we left last time with you in an airplane.
Get ready to
Flying
go.
to Sierra Leone. You're all excited and Mom's crying.
Yeah, she was
So,
getting
catch us
homesick
over
already.
there.
Yeah. It was the first time to be in a commercial airplane, and it was Air Freak. It was freaky, let me tell you. Really
Was it a French
crazy.
Airlines?
French Airlines, and it was a horrible trip over 7 hours. I didn't mind the flying so much. It's the food. It was some French food. I couldn't eat it. I was starved to death by the time I got to Sierra Leone. So we flew, and we couldn't go directly into Freetown, Sierra Leone. We had to stop, first of all, at Dakar, Senegal. And we was going to be laid over there for 6 hours. We thought that would be great. It ended up being horrible. They had armed guards at all the doors, AK-47s. You felt like you was being in prison when you got off the plane. I was under martial law at that time. I don't know what the political situation was, but we get there, and we're going to be there for 6 hours. So I thought we'll go to get a Coca-Cola, something to drink. $7 is what they were going to charge us for Coca-Cola, 10-ounce Coca-Cola. So we didn't get it. I thought, wow. And it was all in French. We was trying to figure it out. And the guy said, no, keep adding more. I was pulling dollars out. I thought $1, $2, $3. He said, no, more. I said, how much? He said, seven. I thought, forget it. I said,
Keep your
whoa.
soda.
Yeah, so we was there for 6 hours, nothing to eat, nothing to
man.
drink other than we didn't even have water. We was afraid to drink the water. We got down to didn't have no toilet tissue in the bathrooms there, no running water. It was just a horrible experience. And
Welcome to Africa.
I couldn't wait to get out of there. In fact, I went to go out to take a picture outside the airport there to just take a picture. And man, Army guy came after me with AK-47, ordered me to get back in. It scared me half out of me. It was all in French too. So
How old were you?
I was 21. So off we go, and we finally get out of there. We had to land in the Gambia, and that was like landing in a jungle airport in this great big plane, and it was scary. They had to refuel. The plane was there a couple hours. It got hot. It was miserable.
Did you
Finally,
did you get off
no,
the plane?
we stayed on the plane while they did all this stuff. I'm thinking, this is crazy. Then we flew from there into Sierra Leone. That was only like 1 hour. We was in right there in Sierra Leone, and I was so excited. Landed in small airport and everything, but it didn't matter. We were just happy to finally be seeing somebody that we would know. We had a missionary that was going to meet us there, and we got off the plane, and whoosh, the heat, and it was in July, the rainy season. It was like suffocating hot. We started sweating immediately as we got off the plane. You had to walk. You come down a ramp and you walked into the airport out on the tarmac and their asphalt that they had down. It was like everything. It was so comical. We didn't understand anything they were saying to us and barking orders and whatnot. But we finally got through customs, scared to death. We got through, and we seen our missionary, and off we went into the capital city of Freetown.
That's awesome. So, a missionary picked you up, and then did you stay in the capital city then for a little
Yes.
bit, and then you went up country?
We stayed there a few days. He had to do our visas and all of that. The next day he took us out to eat at one of the African restaurants. This is a tin pan shanty, and a big pot of rice, and it was just cassava leaf. We'd never had cassava, never heard of it. And
Cassava leaf is like our favorite food now.
yeah. But it looks like cow manure on top of rice.
It does.
And we're getting it, and I remember taking the first bite. I would never take a missionary first-time missionary to a tin pan shanty restaurant, but I guess he was trying to impress us with all the food. And we got there, and I took several bites of it. It was like so peppery hot, tasted horrible. I could hardly eat it, but I was trying to be smiling, being courteous and nice about it. I'm thinking, I was so hungry. I was so hungry.
Oh, yeah.
And you couldn't even eat it. I got dysentery for 3 days. I was in bed. I thought, come all
Mom
this
sick
way.
too?
No, Mom didn't get sick.
Wow.
She didn't like the rice either, but she didn't get sick. I must have ate something that really set me off. And after that, though, I started to get a little bit better. And he got the visas and everything, and off we went up country. And that was quite a trip.
So you stayed at you stayed at his house for a few months while you were working on
Right.
getting your own house set up, right?
He lived in the town of Mabanto. That's where the old missionaries used to live that had retired and come home, the
Okay.
Baileys.
And that's ones you rent to replace.
Yeah, and we went, he was going to orientate us into the country and teach us the cultures and whatnot. And plus, our house wasn't ready to move into in Port Loco. So we're staying in Mabanto, and it was about a 6-hour trip up country, primitive roads, horrible experience. It took us hours and hours to go 130 miles. We finally get down this, we had to go down this road, the dirt road, after we got off the, what's supposed to be a asphalt road, but more dirt than asphalt. We get onto an all dirt road. We finally get to Mabanto, and there's our house. And it's a mud and stick house with a cement plaster on it on the outside. And there's not a straight wall on the entire house. It's 2-foot thick walls, cement floor, zinc pan roof. And we go in, and the first night we slept up there, we were sleeping in Brother and Sister Bailey's bedroom. And that was an experience because the Baileys had shared with us that while they were in that room, how a big black cobra, they saw it climb through the ceiling and come down the ceiling into their bedroom. He said they came right down that wall. He's telling me the snake story. So we finally get in the bed that night, and first night up country, we're scared to death. And I'm laying there in bed, we got a little kerosene lamp lit, and I'm going to turn it off. And then I started thinking about that snake. I said, honey, this is that same room the Baileys were in that the cobra came down in the bedroom. Then I had her scared. I was scared. I said, well, let's tuck this net in. And we made sure we didn't have our feet on the net. We pulled our feet up to make sure it was safe. And I'm thinking, I don't know if we got any sleep that night or not. I knew one thing, we weren't about to get out of that bed for nothing until the next day when we could see what we was doing. That was our introduction to up country.
So then, Mabanto, you stayed there for how long were you
About
there?
6 months, 6 months.
Okay, and that was kind of a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah,
Staying in Mabanto just because you were
Yeah.
really wanting to be up country.
While we was up country, we wanted to be in Port Loco.
Okay.
Our heart was, the first 3 months was not bad. After that, it got to be taking forever to get the doors and windows on. They were trying to refurbish the house, and there was just a lot of things that were not going very well. And after 6 months there, we decided it was time for us to go. And so won't go into all the details of that, but one day we just slipped out while the missionary was away.
They ran away.
Yeah, the missionary kind of left us up there several times for weeks upon weeks, and so we would sometimes be without salary, and it was really hard.
No food, no money.
Yeah, we couldn't eat.
And they wouldn't. Yeah.
We wasn't able to eat rice. We'd have peanut butter and jelly every day on bread, and we could buy the local bread that they made in a mud oven, and that was really good. Except you had to pick the cockroaches out of it and some of the ants and what
One
they got in
time
the flour.
I bit into a piece of bread and bit right halfway through a cockroach.
So
The things you don't think about when you eat bread in the States.
and so some experiences like that, and I was afraid to eat the rice because of the first experience I had. I was scared to death that it would kill me if I ate this rice.
So you guys leave and go up country,
Mm-hmm.
and what did you have door on your house at that point? Or
When
did
we
you-
left him,
Uh-huh.
well, actually, when we left the house, actually we had a miracle while we was in Mabanto. They invited us to go out to harvest, the harvest time, and to help them with the harvest. And so we went out in Mabanto. It was just Kathy and I. The missionary was gone into the capital city. So we was out there watching them harvest, and they invited us to eat with them. And I was scared to death. I hadn't eaten any rice for months. I was afraid to touch it. And they invited us to eat. We didn't want to offend the people. So we gathered around this great big pot of rice out in the field, and Kathy and I got down and we dipped our hands in. There's no spoons or anything. We used our hands to eat. We dipped it in and we ate this rice. And it was, I say that was a God moment. He changed our taste buds. And from that moment until we left the country 22 years later, we fell in love with the rice. We enjoyed it. We ate until we couldn't eat anymore out in that village. And that was a turning point.
Yeah.
Even cassava leaf and cusho bean and all the different sauces, it's like God changed our taste buds. And to me, it was a great miracle for us. And
That's
That was
awesome.
it. And then right after that, we felt it was time for us to leave Maponto, and so we got our old Peugeot. It was up on 4 cement blocks when we got there. We'd been working on the drive shaft, trying to get it fixed, got it going finally, and so one weekend where we was there alone, we felt it was time to go. We packed up our few belongings that we had, loaded in the back of the truck, and off we went to Port Loco. Very little money, just a handful of bit of money in our pockets. Drove down to Port Loco. We'd been down there a couple of times to look at the house, and we decided we're just going to go move in. There was no doors on it yet, and they were putting the windows on. We got down there. We barricaded the doors the first few days, and then we helped to get the doors on, and we were just ready to get started as a bunch of young kids. And
What
wanted
was
to do
your
something
first
for God.
house? Did it have regular walls or was it mud?
It was mud and block too, thick walls, same thing, and they would plaster it just with cement. They're just a wet cement, and they would put it on the mud, and it would dry, and then they'd take whitewash. You buy this lime and mix it up in a 50-gallon drum, and you whitewash the inside of the house, and you whitewash the outside of the house, and then you put a tar at the base of it to keep termites, on the outside, to keep the termites out. And supposed to. It didn't always work. But that was our first house. It had a tin pan roof.
And Mom's first cushions. Okay, so she always tells the story. Her first couch she had, they bought grass cushions. So she had dirt walls, grass cushions made out of grass.
Yeah, made out of
grass. Did you guys buy them?
Yeah, we wanted to buy foam cushions, but they were $4 a piece, and that was like $1 million to us. But we bought all these grass cushions. We thought this is great. We bought grass cushions for all the little couches and several love seats that we had made and chairs. Got everything for $4, handmade right there. The only bad thing about it is when you walked in our house, you thought you was walking in a barn because everything smelled like grass. But we didn't care. We were just happy. They used to make mattresses out of the grass, and you'd have a grass mattress. I slept on those many, many times when I was in the villages. That's a hard bed to sleep in. We had these cushions, and we were happy though. We were young. We were sleeping
just grateful to be in your own home and have your own space and to start where you were supposed to be.
We were sleeping in little cots, these aluminum camp beds that we took over with us, and that was our first beds, and we were as happy as we could be. And
okay, so tell the story real quick because I know we're running short on time. You guys were in bed, and Mom heard something on the roof.
Yeah, we hadn't been in the house very long, and we heard a pounding, a knocking on the roof, and I thought hey, somebody's trying to break in. And I had a 16-gauge shotgun. Only had one shell for it, but I had a 16-gauge shotgun.
You better be a good shot when you only have one.
They gave to me, and so I get up. I don't even put my shoes on or anything. I just have my jeans on, and I sneak out the side door, and I have a flashlight, but I didn't want to turn it on because if they're trying to break in, I wanted to scare them. And so I come down the steps, pitch dark out. Stepped down. When I stepped down, I took a big step over 2 steps and came down around, turned around the corner. Here it was rats jumping off a tree onto the top of our house.
And rats in Africa are like how big?
Oh, man, they're massive. So, yeah, I said, no, it's just rats. So I start to go back in. I have a flashlight on, and I so go around to get on the step to go back up. Right in the middle, the step that I stepped over was a cobra all coiled up, a big, massive cobra. I about had a heart attack.
Barefoot.
Yeah, I was
barefoot. He happened to just step over that step
grace of God.
instead of stepping on it, because if you would have stepped on the cobra, you'd have been dead.
I don't know if I'd have died, but I probably would have died of a heart attack. I'd have died of a heart attack. So I went around and came in the other side door.
And I asked him, I'm like, what did you do? Did you shoot it? He's like, no, I went in the back door.
That was a scary experience.
Oh.
But later on, you'd think of the grace of God. And I'll have many snake stories. Many snake stories. In fact, we'll start next week with another snake story.
Mom used to always say if you carry a flashlight, a snake won't bite you. You just have to carry it fast enough. She always had good jokes. But there's so many stories. I mean, literally trying to figure out which ones you want to piece in, and it's like the more you talk, the more stories that come from it. So next week, we're actually going to get to talk about their first term, and in your first term, you had a baby I mean, lots of first things happened, and lots of open doors, and the way God made connections that lasted for the rest of their life in Africa.
Yeah.
So,
Till now.
yeah, we were talking about it, like we can't fit it all in one, so we're gonna cut this one, and we're gonna save those stories so you get to hear more about their first term in Africa next time, and it's gonna be a good one. There's some good stories there. So, thanks for watching with us.
Amen.
Have a good one.